Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. It's WrestleMania week once again here in the pod because we're at WrestleMania 5. And with me,
Wow.
as always, is Andrew Lee, bro. Andrew, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I can't believe we went through 5 WrestleManias already.
I
This is
know, it's not
crazy.
even June. Yeah, I know. Well, there weren't that many pay-per-views back then. Trust me, from 11 to 15, it's going to take much longer.
Oh, yeah. When there's
Yeah.
gonna be like a two each
Oh.
month. Oh, forget about it.
And then there's going to be three
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah.
And we're gonna cover like weird shit like Heroes of Wrestling, which is on YouTube. So
Oh, man, that's so funny you mentioned that because I just saw some stuff about Heroes of Wrestling. Some call it the worst pay-per-view of all time.
well, if we're still doing it, dude, you know how long like 97, 98 is going to take us? We're still doing this in 5 years. We'll be up to it. So,
Yeah, it's gonna take forever, but you'll
dude,
see.
like,
Hey,
like
it's fun.
it'll be
It's fun
fun. Like,
revisiting too.
but you know what? I think 96 through 99 are going to be really fun I mean, sorry, 96 to 2001 are going to be really fun to revisit. Like, it's not going to be like, oh God, this is so bad. You know what I'm saying? Especially like 96, 97. There's a lot of good matches.
Some of what I find fun is the "Oh God, this is so bad."
Yes,
That's
that's
what
part.
makes it fun too. That I can't believe pro wrestling has this many fans when how shitty it is sometimes. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh
like
yeah, I know.
the bar is so low as far as quality entertainment goes when it comes to wrestling. I sometimes question myself, like I can't believe I'm a fan of this garbage.
You know
Because
what I
when it's
realized?
good, it's really good. When it's bad, it is worse than any TV show you will ever watch.
Can I say what I realized this week in terms of WWE? And I
What?
think this has been true for a while. I don't think you're meant as an average person to watch all the WWE shows every week. I don't think they're made for you to watch them every week. I think that you're really supposed to just watch the clips on YouTube, fast forward to matches you want to see. They don't make the show for someone. They don't make these shows like if they're not thinking to myself, there's going to be this guy who sits at his house every week and watches main event and Raw and SmackDown and NXT. You know what I'm saying? They don't make the show for that person. They make the show for the person who's like, oh, Rhea Ripley, I want to watch her on YouTube. And he watches a YouTube clip and moves on. That's what I
I
think.
would even say they make it just to fulfill their contractual
Yeah, they just think.
obligation. But
Mm-hmm.
and I think they get surprised when there are people who watch every single thing and they're just like, "What the fuck?" Right?
But like when I'm watching like this clip of JD from New York screaming and yelling about Raw and about like there's been
Mhm.
no explanation for Brock attacking Cody. And it's like, bro, you're watching this like it's The Flash or Game of Thrones, which by the way, the series finale of Flash airs tonight. We're recording this on Wednesday. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to just like I think the best way to watch WWE is to just watch the pay-per-views.
I think it
Like
might be. I think that
that's
might be.
that is the best. They give you the fucking recap video. Sometimes they add in story in these videos that was never on the show. So like you get like a story in 4 seconds that you can enjoy. Then like ever since Vince, I mean he's back, but let's say retired, the pay-per-views have been fired. There has not been a bad pay-per-view since I would say Hell in a Cell was the last one that wasn't that good. But every pay-per-view since then has been fucking awesome, right?
Since
Like
when?
Clash at the Castle, SummerSlam.
I didn't watch all the pay-per-views. So even
Oh,
even Backlash, I only watched 2 matches. So I can't
okay,
say. Yeah.
but
I would say
but
this, man. I used to be one of those people that used to like sometimes I would be laying in bed and I would be like, man, I wish I could watch wrestling every day. I
and now
swear.
we,
I was
and
one
we
of
did
those
it during the
people.
pandemic.
And when we did it during the pandemic, boy, just be careful what you wish for because it almost made me hate wrestling because it was so goddamn bad. And now
Mhm.
that bug is like out of my system. I'm
Yeah.
so glad that happened. I'm glad that happened because I realized how bad wrestling is, But
Yeah, I think the way WWE books it is like, listen, as long as we have like 10 great moments a year, people will keep watching. Like, we just need to hit 10 moments that like people like, oh my god, it was so you
yeah,
know,
I can see that. Yeah, and I
yeah,
think I agree with you. I don't think they do their shows for the people who are going to tune in every single show. And
yeah.
when they meet those people, I think they look down.
I
You
think you're
know,
right. Yeah, yeah.
I'll tell
and it,
you what, majority of those people are probably AEW fans.
mhm,
And I think that show tries their best to cater to that group, you
yeah.
know?
But I mean, if you want to watch Raw every week or SmackDown or Impact, if you want to watch all these shows every week, I mean, it's there. You have cable, you can do
Yeah,
it.
you do whatever you want, baby.
But
Right?
I don't think you're gonna have a good time because
I
they
don't think
don't.
so either.
They're not worried about you having a good time. They're worried about like they just want to have moments. They don't want to have a cohesive story.
Dude, I was having an argument with somebody. Not an argument, but like a more like discussion where they were talking about NXT. And I said I enjoy NXT because there's a couple of guys who could have really good matches. And they were saying, oh, it's so bad, and you got all these segments, think the acting style. Well, I don't watch all that. I just skip over everything and I only watch the matches that intrigue me. And they said that's a terrible way to watch the show. You should watch it the whole way through. And I sit through it, and if it's boring, I start looking at my phone, and I was like, isn't that a waste of your 2 hours? You
Mhm.
know? So what do you think though? I mean, we both, it was a discussion, so it didn't get dirty, but I'm just saying, like, to me, that's how I watch wrestling now. I only watch like even like Backlash, for example. I
Mhm.
listened to the review of Backlash, three different reviews of it. I only ended up watching two matches: the Bianca Belair match and the Bad Bunny match, and I skipped almost everything else, right? Because it just didn't sound intriguing to me.
Mhm.
I think that's a better investment of my time.
I
And
agree.
yeah, instead of sitting there for 3, 4 hours watching garbage I don't want to watch, you know?
I'll say this: if I have nothing to do, I'll watch the show live, like Raw. But I'll be
Okay,
doing stuff while the show's going on. Like I have absolutely nothing to do. Um, and I make it a point now to watch the pay per views. Like I'm gonna watch Night of Champions live on Saturday because I feel like more or less I'm gonna get a lot of enjoyment out of that show. The matches look pretty good. You know what I'm saying? The only match that I think doesn't look good is Gunther versus Ali, which will probably be like a minute. So
I think I'm hoping that's a good match.
I'm hoping,
Um,
but I think it might just be a squash. But
Wait, when's this next pay per view? I don't even know.
it's Saturday morning.
This Saturday morning? What is it? Crown Jewel?
It's Night of Champions, but it's in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, dude, I did not even know there was a show this Saturday.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then Sunday. This is kind of crazy. I don't know why they did this. I would have done it differently. Sunday, Double or Nothing and NXT Battleground are on at the same time.
wait, there's a whole bunch of pay per views this weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Wait,
go.
what?
So I'm going to my friend's house. He lives by New York Comedy Club, so I'm gonna host Ryan's 5 o'clock, and then go to his place to watch Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing?
Yeah, that's on Sunday.
Oh my god, dude, I did
I
not
like these
even
week,
know.
dude. I like these weekends, but I would just say WWE, dude, put Battleground on the afternoon because when these companies there's a TNA pay per view on Friday, but nobody cares. But when these companies stack up these
Are
shows,
you serious?
yeah, when these companies stack up their shows like this, I actually like watching them all. I would rather there's 4 weekends a year where all the big pay per views are, and then the rest of the year I just go about my life. You know what I'm saying? And I don't
Yeah,
know.
this is
I would have had Battleground. I would have had Battleground on in the afternoon, and I think because then it's like, oh, this is like a fun day of wrestling. You know what I mean?
oh my god, there is so much wrestling this weekend. This is
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. So the 26th, Friday, up against SmackDown, of course, because that's how the Impact's got to roll.
Well, also,
That's
but
how they got to
SmackDown was
do it.
taped, so if I was on Friday, I might buy the pay per views.
All right, I'm trying to look and see if there is anything in this card that looks.
I want to see
In-
Trinity versus Rick Steiner's favorite wrestler, I
oh,
forgot
Giselle
Giselle
Shaw.
Shaw. Yeah, I kind of want to see
I
that.
don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch the. You remember South Wales, or not South Wales? Does the subculture from NXT UK? They're in Impact Wrestling now.
Oh,
Mark
really?
Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, yeah, and
Oh,
Danny Luna. All three of them, they didn't get picked up by WWE. They went to Impact. Uh, and there's Nick Aldis versus Kenny King. Don't Not interested in that. I'm not
who is Steve
interested.
Macklin fighting?
PCO for the no disqualification match for the Impact World Championship.
Oh, they really don't want anyone's money, huh?
The one match I think I would be interested in is Joe Hendry versus Fandango, and that's a pre-show match.
Yeah, I would. I do want to see. It's only $10, so if I'm home Friday, I might order it.
$9 too many.
I what? I know it probably is,
$9
but I
too
might
many.
order it. I am kind of interested in Trinity's match. I kind of think they should give Trinity the men's world title. I know you're going to be like no, but they have nothing to lose.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but I'm okay with your opinion on that. So Under Siege, which is on Friday, for Impact Wrestling, nothing in that interests me. Then we go to Night of Champions, which is on the 27th, which is Saturday.
Andrew, 1 second. Okay, so you were talking about Night of Champions.
Yeah, Saturday, Night of Champions. There isn't a single match on this that I want to watch either. A lot of these are just repeat matches. Yeah, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus Bloodline. Didn't we see that? Cody versus Lesnar. Didn't we just see that? I'll be honest with you. Gunther versus Mustafa Ali is probably the only one I want to watch because they're in Saudi Arabia. I don't think they'll just job him out.
But he's not Saudi Arabian. I mean, that's like saying like they're in Korea, they're not going to job out Yoshihiro Tajiri. Like
it's WWE, bro. They put Axiom. No, dude. What do you call it? A-Kid. He's Spanish, meaning he's from Spain, and they were like, make him a luchador. He's close enough to Mexican. That's what they did, dude. That's what they did. They took the guy who's Spanish, they made him into a luchador. He's WWE.
He's selling business, man. We can't have Ali lose in Saudi Arabia. He's not Saudi Arabian. Close enough.
Yeah, it's WWE. We can't pretend it's like something that's high class. It's not.
No, I know, but I just to me it's like if you have a Korean wrestler win in Japan, it's like who cares?
Yeah, that's what they'll do.
Like Brian Kim wins the belt at the Tokyo Dome.
Moving on to Sunday, NXT Battleground.
What are the matches?
A lot of these matches I've seen already. Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker. We've seen that already. I don't give a fuck about that. I guess I like three-way matches. So maybe the Wesley match, the Noam Dar versus Dragon Lee. Oh, that's British rounds, though. I know you hate that. And Ilya Dragunov versus Dijak seems good. Now let's move on to Double or Nothing, which is also on Sunday. I did not know. The Four Pillars match, I will not lie. I'm interested in that.
I think that's gonna be a good match. I don't know why I was complaining about that match. I think it's gonna be good. I think it'll be the match tonight. The rest of the card.
The 21-man battle, the Blackjack Battle Royal, I'm interested in that because I feel like there's gonna be a surprise entrance. There always is, right?
I know he's gonna sign someone else we didn't think.
Yeah, I bet you it'll be awesome if it's CM Punk. I would fucking love that. And
they worked out everything as of this afternoon.
What?
Apparently everything's been worked out according to the dirt sheets.
Good. Finally, because
we'll find out tonight. He's gonna announce where the first collision is tonight, so we'll find out.
Oh yeah. So you know what? I'll probably watch for every single one of these pay-per-views. I'll probably watch like one match at least, but I'm not gonna watch all.
A Double or Nothing. I think the card looks pretty good, except for the Jeff Jarrett match. So
I don't know, man. Jeff Jarrett. I'm telling you right now, dude. In AEW, he's been out everything he's in is entertaining, dude. Oh, he's got a career resurgence. Jeff
Jarrett. Might as well have. You know what? You might as well have Tommy Dreamer be the guest wrestler in the Battle Royal, then give him the title.
You can't say you have not enjoyed Jeff Jarrett.
I haven't enjoyed anything with him. No, he shouldn't be there.
The stuff they did with the Acclaim, that was great stuff. I loved it.
Where is the everyone he touched got less over. The Acclaim were over. The Acclaim were the hottest act they had until that feud with Jeff Jarrett. They are no longer as hot as they were.
They got Jeff Jarrett over.
You don't need to get Jeff Jarrett. Okay, so if Tony Khan wants to argue with me, I'm going to be like, okay, then we should bring in Tommy Dreamer and have him feud with MJF. What? It's just the same thing. He drew just as much money as Jeff Jarrett, right?
Yeah.
Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray can feud with Orange Cassidy. There you go. Why not? And you know what? While we're at it, we should also bring in fucking Chris Masters.
He could get heat, brother.
Let's bring in Chris Matt, dude. You know what I would love if it was if they did sign someone, Carlito. I think that would be good.
Who, AEW?
Yeah,
Yeah, I would be down for that shit.
I
I
would
would
sign
be
him. After
100%
that
down.
pop, and he shows up at Double or Nothing and gets like the title shot. That
Dude,
I know.
you know what sucks for
He could
him?
go. He's a. I'm sorry. Before you go, let me
Yeah,
just say,
yeah.
he's the guy. He's the type of guy who should be in Jeff Jarrett's role. Like he's the guy who like they could. Yeah. But anyway, go.
No, no, yeah. What you know what sucked for him was when came out in the Royal Rumble. Remember that a couple of years
Mhm.
ago?
Yeah.
What I think he looked great. He was in good shape. I think what hurt him was the fact that there were no fans. Because remember, it was all the fucking Thunderdome shit,
Hmm.
you know. But I think like when I saw him, I was like, dude, they should totally give this guy another run, you
I
know?
would have done. Yeah, I would have done any surprises that Royal Rumble because like unless like they had wrestlers with COVID and they had to bring in these surprises because
Yeah,
I just feel like these guys like it doesn't mean anything if no one's in the building. So
exactly. I agree. That's why they should give Victoria another shot, you
she
know?
wasn't in this year.
And
I thought she was in this year, Victoria.
I don't think she was.
I think she was.
Well, I love Victoria. Keep bringing her back. She's fantastic.
All right. So enough current. We got a lot of show to talk about.
Oh,
WrestleMania 5.
this fucking 4 hour show on Peacock. Oh my god.
Let me
This
tell you something.
is this the
This is
longest pay-per-view so far we've reviewed?
no one of the Starcades was longer.
Oh,
Let me tell you, this is the definition of like a one match show. This has one great match. Everything else is like bad to okay.
not not Bunkhouse Stampede bad, but yeah, it was not I don't think I remember anything from this fucking show.
You know what also kind of took me out, and I don't know why they did this. Usually they cut to commercial between matches, right? And I don't know what was going on with your feed, but they were cutting the commercial in the middle of entrances, which really kind of fucking took me out.
They did that for my feed a few times and the audio didn't sync up with
Yes, my audio wasn't synced up either. Like you would think this is something they would be. Oh, so that's like on all the copies now. You
yeah.
would see this might like why the fuck don't you? I'm sure it's like a 20-second fix to just have. That's WrestleMania 5. That is like one. This is like your most important event ever. WrestleManias are, and you just let the audio unsynced up on the bro. I'm
You
never
know,
getting rid of my physical media.
you know, if anybody's listening to this, what you guys should do is actually turn on WrestleMania 5 on Peacock and watch along while we're fucking going over it, and you guys will see how fucking shitty it is. I think it'll be really interesting.
But that
But
that
yeah,
made it because I don't remember this being that long because I think the VHS copy I have an unedited version here. By the way, they still edit stuff out of this. There's a whole segment about No Holds Bar they took out. There's a segment about where they're selling merch. They took and this is still like almost 3.5 hours. But I think the original VHS cut was edited up down a lot more because I remember this show only being like 2.5 hours.
jeez, this is a
This
long
is
show.
this is by the way the first pay-per-view that got me into being a wrestling fan. So I was in second grade and my friend had the program and I looked at the program and I'm like, oh, who's this Ultimate Warrior? Who's Demolition? And that's how I got into wrestling after that.
I remember I was too young I was like 5 or 6, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really remember this too much. I do remember something vaguely about these guys like facing up when I was a kid. That's about it. I just remember like, wow, it seems like a big deal.
I
Anyway,
will
it was
also
a big
say
deal.
before you go, I think it's one of the best WrestleMania posters.
Is it the one where it's like
Hogan and
two of them
Savage,
and it looks
and
like
there's
a
like an
giant
explosion in the
yellow?
background.
Oh, I thought that was like a yellow. I thought that was a cheese puff, dude. Oh, I get it. It's
A cheese
it's
puff.
orange. I thought it was a cheese puff or
No,
something.
let's get some cheese puff, brother.
Oh yeah, I don't like this poster too much. It's all
I
right.
like it.
It looks like they're farting, and it's like the gas bubble behind them.
I like it. It's very 80s. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's get
the
into this
reason why
thing.
they have it is because this is WrestleMania 5, and the tagline is "Mega Powers Explode" because Mega Powers is a tag team of Macho Man and Hulk Hogan.
We've been
WrestleMania 5,
watching the slow explosion for a year now, covering
yes,
this.
a
Now it's
year-long build. WrestleMania 5 takes place on April 2nd, 1989 in Atlantic City, New Jersey at Trump Plaza or Trump Towers there. Trump
Can I
Plaza.
also say before you, I don't like this building at all.
It sucks.
It makes the event seem smaller. It makes it
Yes.
look like it's like in a comedy club, not even
Yes.
when they do the wide shots, like, oh, it's really big, but it looks like it's inside a comedy club.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
shitty one.
Yes. I think the acoustics are not that good in this either.
No, like, yeah, I don't like this building at all.
Supposedly 18,946 fans are in attendance. They do an intro video, and it's got the sexy saxophone music playing in the background. You hear a deep Vince McMahon Jr.'s voice going, "And that's how powers explode." I was like, this is so terrible. It was so tacky.
I like the sax. I like the sax.
The sax was fun. It was really funny because it's like a sexy saxophone, and you hear this like deep, grovelly voice, but it's not like a naturally deep, gravelly voice. He's purposely trying to make his voice sound like that. It's so terrible. All the past WrestleManias, we've had like Ray Charles and Aretha Franklin sing. This one is special because Junior somehow ran out of money and he gets Rockin' Robin, the wrestler, to sing that the America's Beautiful. And it fucking sucks. It is not good at all.
I don't remember it being this. This might be one of the worst singing jobs I've ever seen.
Oh, it's terrible, dude.
Atrocious.
Yeah, I don't know how you go from like Aretha Franklin and Ray Charles and you just like somehow, I guess, run out of money that you can't even get like an amateur singer. You have to get a fucking wrestler to sing it.
Dude, I feel like she asked. I feel like she was like, Vince, I could do it. Vince,
I want to be a part of WrestleMania 5.
I know I don't have a match, but let me sing. And he's probably like, more maybe like they were gonna give her a match and they had to cut it because they gave her and they were like, you know what, you can sing.
Maybe, yeah. Jesse Ventura shits all over her though. It's really funny.
There's a lot of times where Gorilla and Jesse just shit on the show. Like they just outright shit on something on the show. And I'm like, I can't. The funny thing about Gorilla, so this is the thing about Gorilla you have to understand. He owned a piece of the companies, and Vince had to pay him. And if Vince defaulted, he'd have to. And Vince was under orders that Gorilla Monsoon can never be fired no matter what. So if Gorilla Monsoon was still alive, he'd be like a top executive, right? So he has this air of like, I know Vince is in charge, but I'm just gonna do what the fuck I want. And you know, there's just like this air that now that I know more, you can sense that from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know, but he's still very good. You know,
but no, he doesn't take away from the show. Is what I'm saying.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, him and Jesse Ventura. I'm gonna say that's gonna be my favorite commentary team of all time. Of all time.
Yeah, dude, they're so good. And you know why?
I'm gonna get depressed the first pay-per-view we get to where Jesse just quit. Yeah. You know, because I can't get any more Jesse Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon. I'm gonna be upset.
Dude, you know how painful it's gonna be that we're gonna have to sit through like hours of Michael Cole, JBL, and Jerry Lawler. Oh my god.
God, you're right. Oh my god, you're right. Anyway, we go to our first match. First of 14 fucking matches. All right, we got King Haku with Bobby Heenan versus Hercules. He showed Donald Trump in the front row. Hercules is
he watches the whole show. He never leaves.
No, he never leaves. He loves wrestling. Donald Trump loves wrestling.
I'll tell you what he loved you more than wrestling. Camera time. And he is in every shot.
Yes.
And I think, you know, this show made me think Donald Trump was like a big deal. Like he was like, you know, I thought he was gonna be, you know, I thought that he was like a JFK type when I watched this show. Like I thought he was gonna be president. And then when I got older, I was like, oh, how that was so stupid. Why did I think that guy was going to be president?
Well, you were smarter when you were a kid.
I know. And then he became the president. But like when I saw this show, the way they treated him, I thought he was like the next Ronald Reagan. I thought he was like, you know, like there's certain guys you just know are going to run for president, right? Mm-hmm. Or like be somebody. I thought that because the way Vince McMahon presents him on this show. And the thing about Donald, I think he knew, and it worked. all camera time is good time. Doesn't matter if you're just sitting there staring at fucking Hercules. You're on camera.
Probably. You know, the first time I actually recalled knowing who Donald Trump was these Pizza Hut.
Oh, really? What about Home
Yeah,
Alone?
where he eats the pizza backwards with his fucking wife.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
See,
that's
this
the
guy.
first time I like really knew who Donald Trump was. Like I was like, hey, I think I've seen this guy before. Oh, this is Donald Trump, and oh, like that's how like that was my first recollection of these stupid pizza commercials. Anyway, yeah,
Hercules.
Donald Trump is in the front row for Hercules is King Haku. Hercules, I like this guy, but this fucking guy is so pale and he's so red that whenever Haku touches him, there's like a handprint left on his body. You notice that?
Yeah.
Anytime he got touched anywhere, like there were like prints left on his body. Um, anyways, Hercules does like a back suplex and he does like this really terrible looking bridge. It's one of the worst bridges I've ever seen. And he wins. That's what happens. What did you think?
I thought it was not a bad opener. I thought, the more I watch, I like Haku a lot better as Haku. I thought as Ming, I don't think he was as good as Ming, but I realized like Haku is a pretty good worker. And you know
Yes.
what? I gotta give them credit. The finish nowadays, you could never finish a match at WrestleMania in a move like that. The fact that they just do like this like suplex to end it, I thought was okay. And it kind of okay, maybe not every match is gonna end with the finisher because now every match has to end with 9 finishers. So I
Yeah.
thought that was kind of interesting.
What do you call it? I think both guys are actually pretty decent. Like,
Better than we can.
Yeah, Hercules isn't bad either. It's just that like the finish was so fucking. The bridge was just like it was a shitty bridge.
It's a good idea, but they didn't do it right. Yeah.
Yeah, the more I watch Hercules matches, the more I realize I actually think he's actually. I'm surprised he didn't go anywhere. You know, like he's got the look, and he can wrestle. You know.
I think it was because the promos weren't good.
Yeah, or because like there was like we can't have a champ who's got body who's got handprints all over his body every time he
Yeah,
gets touched.
maybe that's it too. Yeah, but no,
Yeah,
I've always thought he was pretty good. I think the Power and Glory is one of the most underrated tag teams of all time, bar none.
see it.
Yeah, when we get to them, you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, this was a good opener. This
I
wasn't
do remember that tag.
their finishing move was really someone should copy it. It's really fucking
Yeah,
good.
no, somebody does do it. Doesn't FTR do it every once in a while?
I know, but someone like it would be cool if like there was like what I'm saying, like they should be like a team that one guy like a one guy does a Hurricane Rana instead of the suplex. One guy does a Hurricane Rana, the other guy does like a 450 splash. That'd be kind of cool. So you're on the top turnbuckle. So their Power and Glory is Paul Roma. No, I'm sorry. Hercules does a suplex off the top, and then Roma hits you with a splash, right?
Yes.
It'd be kind of cool now. Like you could do this in AEW. Like one guy hits a Hurricane Rana from the top, and then the other guy hits a 450 splash. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean it'll be harder to do, but it's possible. You know what I want to see more of, and back then they had more of this is like the tag teams where one's a big fucking powerhouse guy, and one's like I don't know, like a smaller technical wrestler kind of guy.
That's why people still talk about the Heart Foundation, Power and Glory, because that's what they were.
You know who has that right now? Street Profits. Street Profits are kind of like that. Swerve and Our Glory had that, and they just broke that up. I can't think of any other tag teams that are kind of really.
I guess you could argue that the Dustin Keith Lee tag team has that kind of.
I guess, yeah.
Can you imagine?
Make some like there's still continuity. Like in the Heart Foundation, they just broke both dressed in pink. You know.
Dude,
Street Profits are the closest example right now.
Can you imagine if in WWE they had fucking Keith Lee tag team with Goldust? There would be a riot. There'd be a riot. People would be like Vince,
and he's wearing a cape.
I know, like the fact that people like kind of that's the fact that people don't have meltdowns over some of these things are like okay.
Yeah. So Mean Gene, he's in the back with the Rockers, and they're cutting a promo, and they both mention Grease Lightning. Maybe that's what they really wanted to be called. I don't know why they kept talking about it.
Vince probably saw Grease the night before. They gotta mention Grease Lightning.
We're Grease Lightning. I was like, why did they mention it so much? We're gonna go to match number 2, the Twin Towers with Slick versus the Rockers. This is why they cut a promo. And dude, fucking Akeem makes me laugh so goddamn much.
I love Akeem.
Recently on Reddit, on Squared Circle on Reddit, somebody posted a compilation of Akeem just jiving and shit, right? And I was like, he does fucking do that a lot. And when I'm watching this match, he's doing it nonstop. Like when he's not wrestling in any sense of the word, he is juking and jiving. He's doing the whole fucking thing. It's really funny. Dude. If his character was around now, I think it would get over. People
It was over
initially
back then.
they'll say it's racist, but then they'll eventually, because he's just constantly doing this.
Dude,
I
it
think
was
it'll get over.
over. It was over back then. All the kids liked him back then. Like it was over. It's just Vince kind of like buried him because he felt like it.
Yeah.
But
So
I like it better than the one man gang. He's so much better as Akeem than the one
yeah,
man.
yeah, he's more entertaining than a one man gang.
Mm-hmm.
I like this match, the story of this match. It's like you got two big fucking guys, the big fat guys, versus the two smaller, fast guys. Shawn Michaels takes a whole bunch of bumps in this match, like crazy ones, like a fucking huge power bomb, all this shit. At the end, Akeem hits a splash, which they call Air Africa, on Shawn Michaels for the win. What did you think?
This was a pretty good like squash match. Isn't it
Mm-hmm.
crazy though that he becomes Mr. WrestleMania? This is his first match.
Dude, you know what? I hate Shawn Michaels,
Yeah,
but
man.
when I was watching this, I was like, man, even that early on, because he made this match look good by taking all those fucking bumps.
Well, he said so. There's a DVD with just his WrestleMania matches,
Yeah.
and obviously, and he said he goes like, most people would have been like, whatever, I'm getting squashed by the Twin Towers, and he's like, I know it's WrestleMania, we've got to have a great match, and we went out there and tried to have a great match.
Oh,
Even
he
with it,
succeeded.
he
I thought it was
succeeded,
fun.
and that's why he becomes Mr. WrestleMania. And
Yeah.
Akeem Akeem was like a strip club manager or something. Eventually, that's what happened.
As a king
The one man
disco.
gang. I guess that's what you do. But anyway, but no, pretty good, another pretty good match. Another
Yeah.
pretty
So
standard.
far, like, yeah, it's not bad. Like, they're not amazing, but it's not bad either.
Like if you want to know like how does Shawn Michaels, because this is like the first like regular match Shawn Michaels has on pay per view. If you want to see his first ever regular match, definitely check this out. So
Yeah, I agree. Tony Schiavone, he is in the back with Ted DiBiase and Virgil, and they cut a promo on Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and he's got his $1 million belt. And DiBiase, after the promo, he makes his way to the ring and he shakes hands with Donald Trump because they're both millionaires. Goes to match number 3, Ted DiBiase with Virgil versus Beefcake. Let me tell you something about Beefcake. He has got probably the best mullet I've ever seen. It's fantastic, dude. It's really good mullet.
got the
It's a
mullet of
very
a
good
man.
mullet. Yeah, it's like this match ends in a double count out. The crowd is dead, literally dead for most of this match. And after the match, there's all this shenanigans, and Beefcake gets his giant scissors, and people cheer for that. What did you think?
I thought this was a pretty good match until the finish. It was long, and I think Gorilla Monsoon says something like, "Oh, this is really going long." I think Gorilla was annoyed that the match was long. It's a long match. I think it's actually better match than DiBiase's match with Savage at WrestleMania 4.
It's like a 10-minute match.
Yeah, but I don't know like why I would have had because later on they DiBiase has the belt now. He's starting a feud with Jake. I just would have had DiBiase win, but I guess they didn't want either guy to lose, so they did that finish. But I thought it was fine. Beefcake is another guy who once says sucks, and doing this journey, it's like no, he doesn't. Same thing like Lex. It's like this guy does not suck.
No, the Beefcake does not suck. This is what's really good about watching these again is that my opinion about some of these older wrestlers were based on things I've read online or heard other wrestlers talk about. And now that I'm watching it again on my own, I can formulate my own assessment of it.
Yeah.
And so far,
people act like it was this big mystery why Beefcake was over. They do, and I'm like, bro, the guy had a great look. and the guy could wrestle. He wasn't bad. It's like
The three people so far that I've been very misled about are
Mhm.
Hercules,
Mhm.
Honky Tonk Man, and Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
And I put Lex in there too.
Oh, Lex Luger in there, and you know what else? NWA, and how fucking
Yeah,
great it
yeah,
was. Yeah, yeah. So I've been misled about a lot of things. A lot
yeah.
of things.
I wish this had not having a finish hurts this match a lot, but I was surprised how good it was for these guys. It was good.
Yeah. So Lord Alfred Hayes, he's got the annual WrestleMania brunch. He's at the brunch and he's with the Bushwhackers. And they're eating with their hands because get it, they're savages or
Mhm.
whatever. And people are just like watching them like they're freaks. So fucking stupid.
Dude,
Uh,
here's the thing. They don't even look like they look like just two regular guys having a meal. They don't look.
yeah, yeah. It's not like they're picking up like soup with their fingers. It's like I think one of them's like a cracker. I'm like, yeah, I would pick that up with my
Dude, it
fingers.
looks like how we would look if we were eating breakfast.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it doesn't, but I think Vince doesn't eat with his hands at all. So I think um he thinks this makes you look like a savage.
Yeah, like the guy picked up like a toast with his hands, and you see people like in the background looking at him like, ugh. And I'm like, what?
How is he
Why
supposed to
do
eat
that?
this?
Why do that? Yeah. This is gonna lead to match number 4. It's the Rougeau brothers, the Fabulous Rougeaus with Jimmy Hart versus the Bushwhackers. The Bushwhackers are doing their fucking bushwhacker walk, and one of them almost fucking falls during their entry.
Yeah, 'cause those stupid steps. That's the other thing. The steps, like, oh god, these poor wrestlers.
Yeah, it's not a fucking ramp. It's like
No,
these
it's like
low steps, and oh, it's stupid. Gorilla Monsoon, he hates that the Rougeaus are living in America right now, and they think they're American. It's like he hates immigrants, and Jesse Ventura like basically calls him out on that. Like, but what are you saying? Like, what they can't move to America and love America anymore just because they're born somewhere else? They're not American. He's like, yeah, that's right, they're not. Like that's like everyone. And the Bushwhackers hit a battering ram, double gutbuster on Raymond for the win. And then Sean Mooney's interviewing people, and then they fucking gets licked up and down the face
yeah.
by the Bushwhackers. What did you think?
This was the first bad match. I didn't like this match.
This was yeah. I would have. I started with DiBiase because I don't like fucking bullshit endings.
Yeah, no,
But
I know. But
this
the
was
work
also.
was good in that match. The work in this match was not great.
I mean, that was some top notch licking. I thought
The licking was great.
the licking was great. Yeah, nobody licks like the Bushwhackers. I can tell you something.
No, no, they lick like nobody's business.
They should have transitioned into porno. I think that would have been good for them.
But no, I mean, yeah, I mean the bush. I like the. Here's the. I like the bushwhackers, and they're super over. And I would wear a bush if I went to the store tomorrow and there was like a $5 bushwhacker shirt, I'd buy it, right? But they never have good matches. They just don't have good matches. But they're still,
No,
but they don't need to. So
they don't need to because you know what? They're like
they're the
super
best.
fan favorites. When they're walking, they showed the audience. There's tons of people doing that stupid
Yeah, they
fucking.
love the. I would do
And
the
you know
walk.
what? Here's the thing. I fucking used to do this thing when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I used to love just walking anywhere, doing the bushwhacker walk. And who came up with that? The bushwhacker walk.
I think Vince.
I'm gonna look that up. I
I think
love it.
Vince. Well, I mean,
Uh,
Vince was the one that people thought Vince was insane making these guys baby faces and being like they're going to be for kids. People are like, you're out of your mind, and that's nobody remembers their sheep herder shit. That's all they remember is them doing this.
yeah, that's just crazy. There, I did not know until much later how violent they were,
Yeah,
and how vicious they were. But yeah, these it's pretty amazing that they become basically cartoon characters almost in a way.
and but you know what? They probably made more money doing that than they ever
Oh,
did.
absolutely, 100%. They made more money.
Mhm.
So we're gonna go to match number 5. It is the Blue Blazer, who is Bruce Hart under the
Owen
mask.
Hart, you son of a bitch.
Blue Blazer versus Mr. Perfect. Blazer has most of this match. He has most of the offense, but then Mr. Perfect basically hits the perfect plex for the win. What did you think? It was a very quick match, right?
when the match started, I'm like, oh, they're gonna do like some like the work rate's gonna be pretty high, and then it just kind of like fell off the match quality. And then at the
Mhm.
end of it, I was like, yeah, it was okay. It wasn't like the greatest. I really thought the match was gonna be better, and especially with these two. And it was. I thought Beefcake and DiBiase had a better match.
I didn't. I actually didn't. I actually did enjoy this match, the Blue Blazer versus Mr. Perfect. It's quick. It gets you to see both of their strengths. Blue Blazer, uh, Owen Hart's basically his speed and his aerial abilities, and Mr. Perfect's selling. Mr. Perfect, one of the things he did the best is just
Oh, he
fucking the
was
way he
selling great.
sells.
Selling,
And
yeah.
so it was like you see the strength of both of those guys, and then Mr. Perfect just hits his fucking perfect plex, which really put over his finisher, saying, "No matter how much you fucking beat on me, if I hit this one move, you're fucked because you can't kick out of this."
Watching this match in the Survivor Series, I kind of
Mhm.
feel like they should have pushed Owen Hart even if they had started pushing him even back then, it would have worked. Like I think it would.
Yes.
I don't think you had to wait as long as you did. I just don't think Vince saw anything in Owen until '94, and then he realized like Owen is the guy.
Yeah.
So, but you could
To
probably give
be
it.
fair, when I'm watching this though, Owen Hart reminded me at this point a lot of he reminded me a lot of other wrestlers you see today in the sense
Jungle
that
Boy,
he just wants to get his spots in, you
Jungle Boy.
know? Yeah, yeah, he's not getting like telling a real story. He's just trying to get his spots in stuff.
Yeah.
By the way,
But
yeah,
he becomes better. But yeah,
does become
I also know. Did you notice that Jesse goes, "We're gonna see." Jesse kind of tells the audience like this is gonna be the work rate match. He just kind of just says it.
yeah, yeah. No, and it was. I thought it was a good combination. A little too short, but it was fine. By the way, I just looked this up. Butch came up with the walk for the walk.
Oh, okay.
He says, this is his quote: "The walk came from me. I've always walked a bit strange. I've got screwed up feet. If I was a horse, they would have shot me. I always swung my arms when I walked." Okay,
By
that's
the
what
way,
he said.
Butch died recently, so R.I.P. And Superstar Billy Graham died, R.I.P.
He did. He did. Yes.
And our good friend Jack Steloso too. Rest in peace.
Yes, that's right. Rest in peace for everybody, everyone. Bushwhackers,
Tina
though, the
Turner.
main Tina Turner died?
Yeah, today.
Wow.
She couldn't live without Peggy Lee Leather, who also died yesterday.
Oh, Peggy Leather also died. Man, we were just talking about her, and I was like, man, I really hope she gets that Christmas that she always wished for.
If you're a female wrestler out there and you're like, oh, I want Vince to notice me, rip off her gimmick, rip it off.
Yeah, dude, Peggy Lee Leather had a cool ass gimmick. It was like so relatable, down to earth, relatable. You know?
Nobody remembers her. Just watch some stuff, rip off what she's doing, and I guarantee you, either in AEW, WWE, you're going to become a star.
I can see that happening. Yeah. All right, Jesse Ventura. He poses to the crowd for a bit because he is technically a movie star at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred Hayes. He's on the boardwalk at a 5K run, and I did not understand what was going on here. Fuji joins them, and he said, "I'm gonna run this to show you that the Powers of Pain are gonna win the tag titles." I'm like, how are you? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how is you running a 5K gonna show that you're gonna win the tag titles?
Well, then
The
he's in
Powers of Pain
shape,
are
I
gonna
guess. Then he's in shape.
yeah, because I didn't realize it was a handicap match. I was like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but he does that, and then we get Run DMC.
So really quick, before you jumped around the MC, this was the
Yeah,
first WrestleMania where Vince tried to have events around the thing. So there were more events. I was in the WWE magazine back in the day. But the brunch, you could pay. They were like you could sit at a table with a WWE wrestler and have brunch. And then the 5K was also part. So he was trying things. So this is kind of like the first official. Now we have a million things, right? Obviously, I had an event. This was the first time they tried that. They didn't have
this
events.
was like the first, like, yeah, I can see because now WrestleMania is like the whole fucking thing. There's all access. Is that what they call it? All access? No, just
All
WrestleMania.
access, WrestleMania store, but then there's there's the Hall of Fame, there's SmackDown, there's NXT, there's GCW, there's the Goots. There's a lot of things going on, but back then, I guess this was this idea of brunch and a 5K. The first time I ever heard about brunch was this WrestleMania. I was like, is this a? I thought it was a special meal that only WWE wrestlers had.
Oh, that they have to eat with their fingers. Yeah, they. All right. Well, that's pretty interesting. Yeah. Um, Run DMC, they're in the ring. They're gonna do a WrestleMania rap. In the beginning, it's just them saying WrestleMania over and over again. And I was like, God, I hope this is not the rap. I hope it's not just them saying WrestleMania. WrestleMania. When I say wrestle, you say mania. I was like, please don't let this be it. And then they finally do actually start rapping, and it actually is pretty good. Dude, Run DMC, um, they're actually really, really talented. I always forget how
They
good they are.
basically were the first. They're the Hulk Hogan's of rap. They
Yeah,
start every. They
they're very good.
Gorilla Monsoon immediately shits on them when they're.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is not my kind of music or
No,
whatever.
he's like painful or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, they basically that's the equivalent of like they have like Drake or even Bad Bunny. Like
Yeah,
this
remember,
is
this is
Bad Bunny
1989, guys.
sings, and Michael Hall immediately goes like that sucked. Like
Yeah. um,
that
all
was
right, we get
fucking awful.
a Survivor Series recap of what happened between Demolition and Powers of Pain, with Mr. Fuji turning in an attack afterwards as well. And then Mean Gene, he's with Accent Smash, and they cut a promo on the Powers of Pain and Fuji. I'm sorry, Fuge the Stooge.
Oh,
That's
it's
what
this
they keep
dude.
saying. Fuge the Stooge. You're gonna get you, Fuge the Stooge. And actually, the more he said it, the more I fucking like that nickname.
Oh, it's
Like,
this dude.
it's the Fuge the Stooge. It sounds so good. It goes. This is gonna be our sixth match, the tag team, the handicap tag team title match. We get the Powers of Pain and Fuge the Stooge versus Axe Smash, the tag team champions. Warlord looks like he's got fucking clown hair. It's like this fucking like double colored black and brown thing. It looks terrible.
It's horrible.
Food's the Stooge. He throws salt in the Warlord's eyes by accident. And Demolition hits Fuge the Stooge with the decapitation finishing move of theirs, which is like, like an elbow drop up second rope for the win, and they retain the tag titles. What did you think about this match?
Ooh. I think this is the match where Vince realized Powers of Pain ain't in because it stunk. I remember not liking this as a kid. I used to watch this show like on repeat on VHS. I remember never liking this match, and I fucking hate it now. This stunk. This stunk. And
um,
Demolition. It's not Demolition's fault. I think it was Powers of Pain, and also like no one's gonna like we're just. I'm not adding Mr. Fuji doesn't make that a threat. It's like it would be clear of Stokely Bates, Stokely, whatever the fuck his name is on the apron. Like who cares? Like
Yeah, I agree. It was all right. It's not some early NWA shit match, but it is not good either.
yeah.
All right. Tony Schiavone, he's in the back. He's trying to talk to Macho Man. Macho Man, let's say nobody can talk to him. Macho Man freaks out because you're showing
Great,
how his mental state is.
great job. I love it. Macho Man's the best.
Macho
Macho Man,
Man's great. Everything he does is great.
he's just the best of all time.
You know what's not great? This
Uh,
next match number 7, Dino Bravo with Frenchie Martin versus Rugged Ronnie Garvin.
mm-hmm.
Somehow
But
they just go, yeah,
Superstar Billy Griff, Superfly Jimmy Snuka comes out, gets
yeah,
the biggest pop of the
somehow.
night. I thought.
What?
He gets the biggest pop so far of the night. Superfly Jimmy
Yeah,
Snuka.
before this match begins, they just go, "Hey, we got a special guest, and it's Jimmy Snuka." And so we haven't seen Jimmy Snuka since like I think WrestleMania
Yeah, he
one.
left right after that. Yeah.
Yeah, his girlfriend had died on May of 1983, right? And I think he goes. I don't know what happens after that, but he disappears
He
for a
goes away
very
to
long.
the AWA for a little bit, but now Vince is ready to bring him back, and
Yeah,
he's
because now
comes back for a while.
it's been about 5 years, basically,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
he brings him out for this. Dino Bravo hits his side slam for the win. After the match, Jimmy Garvin finally decides to show some fire, and he
Ronnie
starts
Garvin.
attacking him. He starts doing this Garvin stomps on Frenchie Martin. What did you think about this?
Match stunk, but I remember as a kid being excited that Jimmy Snuka was back, and and the crowd really comes alive when Jimmy Snuka comes out. you know, that this crowd didn't pop for shit, but they were very excited to see Jimmy Snuka. So
It was weird that they brought him out during this match. I thought they were going to build a feud or something afterwards, but nothing happened.
maybe on the house shows he fused with Dino Bravo. I don't know, but it was never on pay-per-view or TV or anything. But yeah, I
Yeah.
remember like he did get a bunch of wins like the next few months, and then they turned into a jobber. And you know, by the next WrestleMania, he's jobbing to everyone.
All right. Match number 8, Brainbusters, Tully and Arn with Bobby Heenan versus Strike Force, which is Rick Martel and Tito Santana. There's a point in this match where Tito Santana accidentally hits Rick Martel in the face, and Rick Martel goes flying out. And then Tito's getting his ass kicked, and then Tito tries to go for a tag, and Rick Martel basically refuses to tag in, favoring his face, and he says, "You know what? Fuck this," and he leaves. And he leaves Tito Santana alone in there, who ends up getting a spike pile driver from the Brainbusters for the Brainbusters to win. Afterwards, Mean Gene, he's in the back with Rick Martel. And Rick Martel, he's saying, "I'm sick and tired of Tito Santana. I'm sick and tired of him. I'm sick and tired of him carrying." He mentions that he's sick and tired of Tito Santana about 5, 6 times. But that's why he's sick and tired of it. What did you think about this, Ray?
I thought it was a great angle. I thought, you know, this when I was younger, this really to me made Rick Martel a threat, or I was invested in the storyline. I think it's very well done. It's not a good match, but it doesn't need to
Give
be.
him some personality for once.
Yeah, it gave him personality, turned them into the model eventually. Yeah, I thought this was a really good heel turn. It's very memorable for me, and the Brainbusters have a great reaction to it. They're just like having a party that they get to beat up Tito. Like Tully Blanchard starts doing this dance. Like
Yeah,
they know they won.
They don't even go for the win right away. They go like, let's just take some of this extra minutes, just beat the shit out of him some more. Yeah.
Well, there was only WrestleMania, so Arn hits a great spine buster. I thought, yeah, so as a match, I don't know, give it like 2 stars. As a angle, 5 stars, man. This is what Rick Martel needed. And I think even Tito needed it. So and everyone comes out better from this angle.
Yeah. Tito's like the perfect person to turn on to. You know?
And he's selling like, so well, and you already the crowd like goes right. They hate Rick Martel because Tito is selling it so well. He's selling it like I'm in so much pain and no one's here to help me.
Yes.
And, yeah, it was great.
No, I agree. I think this when he turned his back on Tito, it did make the people in the audience go like, "What the fuck?" You know, they were like invested.
If they're gonna do, I would say when they do the bloodline turn, I would sit them all down and watch this. That the way that Tito and Rick did it, and try to get a little bit of that when they finally have someone turn on someone in the bloodline. That's all.
All right, now comes what I think is one of the worst moments ever in WWE history. Roddy Piper's music plays, and
yes!
out comes Brother Love, and he's got the fucking Brother Love. He's Brother Love from here down to his waist, and then down from his waist down. From his waist down, he is Roddy Piper wearing a kilt and everything, and he starts doing this Piper's Pit where he's doing both Brother Love and he's doing Roddy Piper. It's fucking terrible. It's not funny at all. I don't even think it's a good Roddy Piper impersonation. And then Morton Downey Jr. comes to the ring. Guy from New Jersey. He had like a national talk show. He was known for like smoking and blowing smoke in your face and just being really, really blunt. And then Piper comes out, and when he initially came out, the reaction wasn't that big. At least that's what I thought, right? It didn't sound big.
No, it didn't. It was not good at all, the pop for him.
Jimmy Snuka got like a huge pop. When Roddy Piper finally came out, it was pretty quiet. It was weird.
I know. Well, I'll get into why I think that was, but keep going.
No, what do you think that is?
I think the Brother Love cop out fucking annoyed people, and then when he walked out, Roddy Piper, it wasn't like this big triumphant moment. And I think it kind of took the wind out because people already knew this segment sucks. And then Piper gets in the ring and he makes it worse.
Yeah.
And you can hear someone yell, "What is this bullshit?" halfway through.
Yeah. This segment, I'm gonna break down as it happens. So Piper's in there and he's doing this slow, methodical, like breaking down of what a brother love is doing. I hate it when people do this. It's so fucking bad, especially when they're not good at it. It just drags. While this is happening, Morton Downey is so fucking like such an attention whore.
He has no respect for
what?
He has no respect for wrestling or
No,
anything.
I don't know if you noticed this part. While Piper's talking, he takes off his shoes and he starts taking off his red socks and he starts throwing them to the audience. Did you notice this?
Morton Downey?
Yeah, he takes off
No, I
his
didn't notice
shoes.
that.
He takes off his like red socks and he throws them into the audience. I'm like, why is he doing this? Makes no sense.
Because
And then,
he was probably on drugs and he thought this was retarded what he was doing.
yeah, well, it was. He wasn't wrong about that.
Yeah. But he didn't help.
Piper starts picking on Brother Love's weight, and here's the thing: Morton Downey Jr. did it way better. Because when Morton Downey first got in there, the first thing he goes is like, "What are you gonna do about it, fat boy?" And it's the way he said it. It's great. Piper's like, "Hey, what's this over here? Aren't you pregnant?" It's like, "God, come on, Piper. Like that's the best you got." Like, "Oh, yo, what is this? You're pregnant?" It's so stupid. Morton Downey starts throwing. Remember, his Morton Downey. You guys can look it up on YouTube. His gimmick was that I'm gonna chain smoke a whole bunch of cigarettes.
His show was like the original, like fucking angry podcast.
Yes. He was
the
original Alex Jones, basically.
Alex Jones, Howard Stern. Yeah, he's the first one.
And he was the guy who, like, his thing was he would smoke a lot of cigarettes, tell you to shut up and zip it, like right in your face, and then blow smoke right in your face. So he's got all these cigarettes with him, and he starts throwing them at Piper, trying to get his attention, right? At this point, I have no idea what the fucking segment is, right? And then Piper eventually rips off Brother Love's kilt. Mm-hmm. It's so weird because Piper's wearing a kilt and he's going like, "Oh, what do you got underneath there? What do you got underneath there?" Like, dude, you know you're wearing the same fucking thing. You know how stupid this looks. And then when he rips off the fucking kilt of Brother Love, there's not even the pop for it. Is like there's like a small pop, but it's
nobody cares.
Nobody cares
about Brother Love.
Yeah. And then he starts going one-on-one with Morton Downey Jr. And let me tell you something. Morton Downey Jr. was verbally fucking beating Piper, I thought. This guy had these quick one-liner comebacks, and I was like, this guy's way better than Piper. And this is the part where you're talking about, you hear someone in the audience shout, "This is stupid," like really loud.
I never noticed it as a kid. I didn't like this as a kid either, but I'm like, maybe I don't understand the humor. Mm-hmm. And no, this is atrocious. This is probably one of the worst returns they've ever done.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And then
keep going, and then I'll break it down myself. Keep going.
Yeah. And then fucking Roddy Piper takes a fire extinguisher and he fucking sprays Morton Downey Jr. with it, putting out a cigarette, and then that's the end of the segment.
But did you notice Morton Downey Jr. tries to run to hit him? And
I don't think he was actually going to try to hit him because
he was.
When I was first watching that, you could see him in the background. He's still standing in the ring, and he's like doing exaggerated anger. Like he doesn't come right after him right away. He does this exaggerated anger thing.
Well, he wasn't supposed to run after him.
Oh, well, I don't think he was really that angry. It didn't seem like it to me.
I don't think he was going to go actually beat up Piper for real, but he wasn't supposed to do that. Like he was supposed.
You know who was angry? Everybody who watched this.
Dude, so first of all, I gotta break this down. First of all, this wasn't supposed to go that long. Piper went into business for himself. This was supposed to be like 10 minutes shorter, right? That's number one. Number two, Piper just didn't have it anymore. Like, he is so bad on the mic, and he thinks he's the fucking Rock. He thinks he's the man. He's just, I guess tell like his brain, he must have done so much crack and cocaine between 3 and 5 that his jokes don't make any sense. It's corny. He seems old. And then the other thing is, like, this guy was like an ass kicker, right? And then you bring him back, and he's not with any real wrestlers. He's not having an angle. He's with two guys one guy who doesn't wrestle, one guy who's a guest, and it just automatically makes him look old. It makes him look like he's old. And it kind of ruined him. I remember as a kid thinking like he's like an old timer, and he's not. He's still young, and like it would have been so much better. Like, what if like you don't announce him and he comes out in the main event and costs Hogan the match with Savage?
Oh yeah.
Imagine the fucking pop. Like Piper come. Remember they did that in fucking WrestleMania 19. It was when no one thought Piper's going to be there. They did that. What if they did that here in 5? Like, there's so much money you still could have made with Piper. My only thing, the thing I think what happened was Vince met Piper and was like, "This guy's brain is gone." It's like I can't make him a serious wrestler, dude. It was horrible.
That's believable. That's believable. That's what happened. Yeah.
I didn't never realized how bad this was. Like, and I was like getting angry, and like you can tell that when Piper's walking back up the aisle, he's like, "That was horrible." It was one of the worst returns of all time. Remember, I said like there was something missing. Remember I said that when he left in 3, I was like, "This to me it doesn't feel like the same guy." The guy from 3 is not this guy. Yeah.
No. Doesn't have the edge anymore. It just was really bad. It was really bad.
Yeah.
This made me hate Roddy Piper so much too. It just like
yeah, me too. It's like
you're right. You could see he thinks his shit is so good. He's like, dude, your shit is so bad. I don't need. Yeah. How do you not see how bad you are? It's
how
terrible.
do you left to a dude? This would be like John Moxley coming back to WWE and having no pop. Like, you know, like John Moxley walks out on Raw on like SmackDown tomorrow. I mean, no, it's taped. Dude, the pop's gonna be like for 10 minutes, right? How the fuck do you leave at the hottest period of wrestling? You come back and there's no pop. There's just no pop. Oh, so bad. It's really this hurt Piper. This hurt my memory of Piper rewatching this.
Yeah. I think this moment took years off his life.
So bad. And it's like you can't. If anyone ever tries to make an argument that Piper's better than Hogan, I'd be like, watch this segment.
No, yeah. No, you gotta watch this.
You're right though. I think right now this is the worst segment we've seen in WWE pay-per-view so far. It's the worst WrestleMania moment. Will there be worse ones? We'll find out. But this might be top 5 worst WrestleMania moments.
If this was a wrestling match, I would rank it as the worst thing I've seen. So even worse than the Bunkhouse Stampede, which is still the worst match in my opinion, we've seen so far.
Bunkhouse Stampede was better than this.
Yeah, it was because at least that was a wrestling match. I'll give it that. Sean Mooney, he is with Donald Trump, and he asked him why he wanted to host WrestleMania twice now. And Donald Trump, after watching that Piper segment, he is actually
he's like, I'm never hosting it again.
So, my favorite part about this is when Sean Mooney calls him. He calls him. What do you call him? Donald Day or something like that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
He called Donald Day Trump or something like that. It's Donnie Trump. I forget what happened.
Donald Day.
Yeah, it was stupid, but anyway, that was pointless. They show you Jesse Ventura. Jesse Ventura is mad. He's mad at Hogan because now Hogan is making his way into Hollywood, and he's like, "That Hollywood's my domain. Stay out of it." And they recap the whole history between Hogan and Savage, right? And then you get Gene Okerlund. He is with Hogan. And they're talking about how this is a year-long thing. Last WrestleMania, fucking Macho Man won the championship, and Hogan was in the ring to celebrate with him. And now a year later, they're fighting. And Hogan's doing a promo. Do you ever watch this show called Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Do you ever see their description of Hulk Hogan on that?
No, what they say?
They say somebody, the girl, Dee, she's very funny. She's seeing this for the first time and she goes, "Who is this man? Why does he have like the hair of a Chinese man?" Right? And the guy, they explain that's who he is. That's Hulk Hogan. He has the silky blonde hair of a Chinese man and the skin of a hot dog, and Americans love it, right? And you can totally see it. He's so brown. He's so fucking brown. He looks like a hot dog that's been sitting in that hot dog water.
He's the best.
And I'll tell you something. He gives such a fucking weird promo here. Mm-hmm. He talks about the foundations of the Trump Plaza, and how like Donald Trump worries about the foundations and it's gonna break and it's gonna fall and people are gonna die. And he goes, "But don't worry about my fans if that happens." Goes, "They'll be fine even if the building collapses because they're Hulkamaniacs. But you know who's not gonna be fine? You, Randy Savage. You need to worry about me." And I was like, "What the fuck was this?" That made no sense to me. It sounded horrible, dude. Terrible promo, I thought.
That is, yeah. I love Hogan though. Come on.
You know, I will agree with Jeff. I will agree with Chris Jericho. Fucking Hogan was a better worker than Flair, 100%.
Well, maybe not in this 2 month span, but yes, overall, yes.
Overall, yes.
But Ric Flair definitely had a better match the month before. But
Yes. Match number 9. Andre the Giant with Bobby Heenan versus Jake Roberts with special guest referee Big John Studd. As soon as this match begins, a turnbuckle is actually ripped off, and Andre slams Roberts' heads right into it. And if you actually go back and you watch this during Roberts' entrance in the widescreen shot, you can actually see Andre taking it off. Andre and Big John Studd, they start getting into a shoving match while Jake the Snake Robert gets his snake. DiBiase steals his snake and runs after him and goes after him while Andre and Big John Studd start fighting in the ring. Jake gets his snake bag and he like throws, it's been slammed on the ground. He picks it up, he throws it into the ring. I'm like, the whole time while I'm watching this, I'm like, this is animal abuse.
yeah.
Andre sees a snake and he leaves, and Jake Snake Roberts wins by disqualification. What did you think?
It was sorry, there's these guys smoking on my driveway. I can watch them. They're
Oh.
Yeah. They're just smoking. It was
terrible.
It was good. You thought it was terrible?
I thought it was pointless, yeah.
I mean, for an Andre match this late in his life, it wasn't that bad. You have to understand this guy's like in so much pain he wants to die. And I mean, I don't know. It was better than I thought. It was better than the Piper match. But yeah, I mean, all in all, honestly, dude, Andre shouldn't have been out there.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been out there. And that's like, I hate that, like when like the guy shouldn't have been out there and they go like, well, you're not being fair. He tried his best, but he shouldn't have been out there. Yeah, that's right. He shouldn't have been out there. And then the fact that you put it out there allows me to fucking judge it for what it is. Like, fuck you. I don't care what he was living. He shouldn't have been out there. If you're going to put him out there in a wrestling match, I get to judge it like a wrestling match. It's fucking sucked. It was stupid. He attacked the referee right away. And I mean, you and I were big avid action figure collectors. And I remember one time they put out like a fucking collector's set where it's like this match. You have Jake Roberts and fucking Andre and Big John Studd.
That was a good set.
Yeah, and I was thinking like, oh yeah, man, this was a big moment. I'm watching it, and this match sucked, bro. Like, this is stupid. I can't believe they put out.
Snake though is still getting huge pops, so you gotta give him that.
I will give him that. He is over. He is over.
More over than Piper.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Sean Mooney. He is in the, as he calls it, the Bob Uecker seats. He said that with such sarcasm, right with the fucking people who are sitting up there. Gorilla Monsoon, by the way, he calls them the cheap seats.
It just shits on the seats.
Yeah, he's shitting on these people. He's sitting right there, and Mooney tries to interview one of them. He goes, "Hey, what do you think about this match?" The guy just goes, "Jake's the best, man. He's the best. Jake's the best." That's all he says. Did people have a problem back in the 80s where they just repeat one thing over and over and over?
They're not like, all of us now are camera ready. Like every fucking fan thinks they're like a fucking superstar, right?
The wrestler that's like, I'm sick and tired of Tito Santana.
Oh no, what I'm saying is the guy probably didn't expect it. I'm gonna be on WWE.
Grease lightning. It's like everybody's repeating it. It's just things over and over. But this guy, he goes, Jake's the best. Jake's the best. He's the best. Jake's the best. So Sean Mooney sarcastically goes, I guess he's saying it all. I was like, Sean Mooney, this guy had some sass, man. Anyways, moving right along, we come to one, in my opinion, probably one of the best moments at this WrestleMania. Tony Schiavone, he's in the back with Sherry Martel. And Sensational Sherry starts shitting on Rockin' Robin singing right away. He goes, "Do you listen to that singing? You can't wrestle, you can't sing. Like, what good are you?" And then she fucking turns her attention to Miss Elizabeth, and he shits on Miss Elizabeth. She goes, "She's not beautiful. Look at this. Look at me, dude." I was like, Sherry was so good. You know, like I thought she was great. I thought this was a good promo by her. I loved it. What did you think about that? No?
No, I'm watching these fucking guys.
Do you want to
Yeah,
stop and go out there and fucking wave your
no,
fist?
they're just smoking. I don't care. They're smoking. I'm just making sure that's all they do. We'll do. If I confront them, we'll do it live on the podcast. We'll bring them
Yeah.
on. Who's he? Sherry Martel. All right, they're walking. Next camera. I love these fucking ring cameras. Yeah, it's great. This is kind of like the start of Sensational Sherry. This is where I can. This promo is the start of that character. All right, they left. They left.
It's
This
great.
promo is the start of that character. I fucking love it. I thought it was a great promo. She's the best, man. You know, the thing about it is that when I watched the Rock and Robin singing thing, and people complain that Vince did the Women's Revolution sooner, I'm like, look what he had to work with. Sherry is talented, and Elizabeth is talented, but Elizabeth can't wrestle, and Rock and Robin can't do anything. So it's
And
like,
Medusa's not there yet.
and Medusa. So it's like, yeah, the best thing you can have is just Sherry cutting promos, and she's fucking awesome. And
Yeah.
putting her with Savage was stroke of genius. Stroke of genius.
And yeah, it's here's the thing too. There is not a single women's match in this WrestleMania at all.
Yeah.
That's basically it. So yeah, that's something. They show you we're gonna go to match number 10. It is Greg the Hammer Valentine Honky Tonk Man with Jimmy Hart versus the Hart Foundation. This basically Bret Hart gets he gets a megaphone, he hits Honky Tonk Man with it for the win. What did you think about this match?
Was not a bad TV match. I mean, you know, it's not gonna Bret
That's what it
Hart's
felt
not
like.
what?
Keyword. It felt like a TV match.
I mean, I would have gave them more time. I would have cut out like 3 or 4 of these matches and gave some of these matches more time. This is one of the matches they could have benefited from more time. But you know, I kind of feel like it's a pretty good TV match. It's the best you're gonna get. It's the best these guys could do with the time limit they had.
Yeah, they were only given.
They're not gonna do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you get a recap of the Royal Rumble situation of what happened between Rick Rude and Warrior during the pose down, and we're going to get our 11th match, which is for the Intercontinental Championship. It is Rick Rude with Bobby Heenan versus the Ultimate Warrior, who is a champion. The women love Rick Rude. They show tons of women and their happy faces when he's doing his gyrating, and this match starts happening. There's a lot of women who was like they loved it. And this match starts happening, and there's lots of bear hugs, just tons of bear hugs. And then there's this point where Ultimate Warrior has Rick Rude. He's holding him up, and he fucking does a backbreaker on his knee. And then as he's getting up, he starts losing his balance, and he starts fumbling forward, and he basically like dumps Rick Rude hard into the rope.
So, yeah.
Dude, I was like, that's gonna fuck up his neck. And then what ends up happening is he's fine, by the way, Rick Rude. Warrior tries to
dies 10 years later, but that's
eventually he dies from this many years later.
Yeah.
But at this moment, he's fine.
Yeah.
Inadvertently, it also kills Ultimate Warrior as well. Many years after that.
Mr. Perfect, who like was the best friend of fucking Rick Rude, but
yeah. So
did you hear the rumor
Warrior,
that Rick Rude? There's a rumor that Rick Rude died from overdosing on dick pills. Like he took
yeah, he injected like Viagra into his dick or some shit, like, or steroids into his dick.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What a way to die, brother! What a way to die.
No, no way to die. Anyway, keep going. We got
the Warrior. Rick Rude, Warrior has Rick Rude on the apron. He tries to do a vertical suplex into the ring, and as he's doing it, Bobby Heenan grabs his foot. So Warrior falls, and Rick Rude falls on top of him for the pin and the win for the Intercontinental title. And Warrior kind of does a slow chase of Bobby Heenan, and then he attacks him after the match. What did you think?
Terrible match. The right finish. Warrior needed to lose this match. he needed to have some adversity to keep him over. And when he loses, he doesn't lose anything by losing. But he needed to like lose. I think he needed to lose. And I've always thought this was the best finish. It kept him over. Match is not very good, but
No, no, it's not.
I'll tell you what, they have two other matches on pay per view that are really fucking good. So even though this one wasn't good, the next one at SummerSlam, is one of my favorite Warrior matches. So
Really?
yeah, so like, and Rude, in order for Rude to keep working with Warrior, he needed this. And dude, when Warrior got the belt, Rick Rude goes, "I'm the only guy who beat you, and I can beat you again, but this time fair and square." And they do all these training montages of Rick Rude getting, and I believed it. I'm like, Rick Rude could beat Warrior. So I mean, if they had stayed in the company, you could have had these two feud for years. It was the right finish, bro. I, like, this is why I feel like if Roman had lost during the past 2 years, he would be even more over. Like sometimes you need to lose. And
Yes, I agree.
this was the right
Sometimes you do.
finish. If he had won, if he had like just squashed Rick Rude, I think people would have started turning on him, and he wouldn't have gotten the 6 in the main event. That's my opinion.
I know. I think that's a good. I think that's a fair point. Yeah, I think it's a very fair point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna go to match number 12. It's Bad News Brown versus Jim Duggan, and fucking Jesse Ventura is so funny, making Duggan is an idiot jokes. Like he's going like, you can't scramble. Bad News is like slamming Duggan's head into like a turnbuckle, and he's like, you can't scramble those brains. They're already scrambled. It ends in a double disqualification as they both get a weapon. Duggan gets 2x4, and Bad News gets a chair. And at the end, Hacksaw stands tall, and another probably the best moment. The best moment. This is even better than when Sherry is out there talking. Jim Duggan has a giant snot on his.
Oh god, it's so gross.
As he points out the snot, he goes,
Yeah.
"Look at that! Look at Duggan. He's got a snot on his face. Makes me want to puke." Fucking was. What did you
Woo!
think?
This match sucked. This could have been cut.
He made up
Dude,
for
it
it.
is a huge fucking. It's a huge booger. It's just all over his beard too. It's Wrestlemania, and then do you know they do a close up of it in the fucking? I think Vince told him to do that.
Dude, that's the part.
You okay?
On that giant booger. Oh my god. Oh, my stomach
The
hurts.
WrestleMania moment. It really
Oh
is.
my god. It is so funny. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my god, it's so funny. Oh, oh my god. That's my favorite part about this. If anybody asks me what's the best part about WrestleMania, I'll be
It's the
like,
booger. Did you not? Did you not know about the booger?
I did not know about the booger. Oh
Oh,
my god. Is that like a big thing people know about?
yeah. I think, yeah. It's so gross, dude. It's so fucking. And he doesn't know it. Oh, dude.
Oh my god. Uh, oh, my stomach hurts. Okay, all right. Oh my god, it's my favorite, dude. It's the best part of WrestleMania 5. 100% is. Oh,
Mhm.
all right. Mean Gene, he's with the Red Rooster in the back, and Red Rooster cuts a promo on Bobby the Brain Heenan because he's a weasel. You know what? I'll be honest with you. When I was a kid, I was a fan of the Red Rooster. I don't know, it just seemed like a cool character, and he didn't cut a bad promo here either. But
Yeah,
this
yeah,
match,
yeah. No, it wasn't a bad promo.
yeah, this match sucks though. It's match number 13. This is the penultimate match. It is Bobby Heenan with Brooklyn Brawler versus the Red Rooster. Bobby Heenan rams into the post for Red Rooster to roll him up. It's like a 30-second match. Afterwards, the Brooklyn Brawler beats the shit out of Red Rooster for some reason. What happened here? Were they trying to get Brooklyn Brawler over?
I guess. I mean, they realistically couldn't have Bobby Heenan win at all because of what Warrior just did to him. Would have buried the Warrior if Bobby Heenan. So they needed Brooklyn Brawler to kind of do something. They were Brooklyn Brawler was in the Heenan family very briefly back then. So they needed to do something they couldn't have Bobby Heenan do it. So they needed somebody out there.
Okay.
But this was another match that could have been cut.
Yeah, 100% could have cut this. Yeah, I don't even know why they didn't put it in there.
Well, there was a storyline. Heenan and Rooster had like a storyline now for like 5 months. So
yeah, I guess they were just like, it's time to blow it off, probably. Mean Gene, he's in the back with Miss Elizabeth, and he's asking her about the Mega Powers exploding. And Miss Liz is great. She does a very good job of playing her role of being very worried. The whole time she's like looking down and her eyes are darting back and forth, and she's just going like, she's saying a lot, like she's like lost for words, and she's blinking a lot. It's very convincing.
Nowadays, you'd have her give like a perfect promo.
Yeah. Yeah. But the fact that she couldn't give a good promo, like really, like,
it makes it better.
Like, yeah, what made it better? That she just wasn't in the right state of mind because she's worried about this. Tony Schiavone, he's in the empty locker room because he's like, dude, everybody wants to see this. Nobody wants to miss the main event. And Sean Mooney's with the fans. He's like, who do you guys want to win? And people are shouting for Hogan. And he's just like, it sounds like it's split to me. It's like, not to me, but all right. And we're going to go into our final match, the main event, the WB Championship, WBF Championship. Randy Savage, the champion, versus Hogan. Liz gets her own entrance.
Mm-hmm.
She comes out before Hogan, and you see Pat Patterson. He is with her in her way to the ring. Very early on, Macho Man starts using Liz to block Hogan's path when Hogan's trying to chase him. Hogan starts bleeding above his left eye early. It looked like it was an accidental thing that got him cut. There's a moment where Hulk Hogan, he body slams Macho Man over the top rope onto the floor. That shit looked crazy. I was like, he just fucking threw this guy over the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
And Liz, when this happens, Liz helps Macho Man up, and then Macho Man just turns on her, and he's like, don't put your hands on me or whatever. People gasp at this, and then they're on the outside. Hogan and outside, they're fighting, and Hogan wants to ram Macho Man to the post, but Liz stands in front of the post, stopping Hogan, and this allows Macho Man to get loose and then ram Hogan into the post. Gorilla Monster is disgusted by this. Like, he's like, you don't even care about Liz. And he starts manhandling
the way he
Liz.
just kind of holds her chin.
Yeah, but
it's
even
so much scarier than if he actually hit her.
Yeah, even before that, there's a point where before he starts grabbing her by the chin, he kind of starts going pulling her and putting her up against the barrier, and he starts pointing at her, and she looks so scared. And if you watch that scene again and you see the people in the audience, the women who are watching from the audience, they look mortified for her. Like, some of them you could tell, some of them have probably been in these kind of positions. Yeah. Like, the women all have these crazy looks. Some girls are covering their face because they're so scared of Macho Man. We're not talking George the Animal Steel, some ugly, scary guy. It's just Macho Man. And while all these women look mortified, there's that one kid who's doing the fucking vagina eating. Right at the camera, and he goes, and then basically they send Liz away, and they get back in the ring, and Savage hits his fucking elbow drop, and Hogan no fucking sells this shit. He gets
Hogan kicks out before two. I love it.
He just pops it up, hits his boot, and the leg drop for the win. It's like, what the fuck? And Hogan, after the match, does basically a 3.5-minute pose down. Thanks, God.
I loved it as a kid. I loved it.
Dude, the people loved it. Nobody was leaving. I was like, this guy is still doing
And at the time, it was history because besides Bruno, he's the only 2-time champ ever. So it's this guy's the best.
People loved it. I liked the match.
This is the best match of the show. Dude, the story that Macho Man tells from WrestleMania, now when you watch WrestleMania 7 and the end of that match when they reunite and he actually treats her with respect, means so much more. The way they built to that moment where he does give her respect is so fucking awesome. He's so good. Savage is so good. I kind of like the fact that Hogan kicked out so early. because I just feel like now it's been 30 years of everyone kicking out just as soon as right before the 3, right? 2.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that Hogan just kicks out at 1 is like, oh, all right. Like it kind of, I don't know. I liked it. I like when things are not to formula. I kind of think when Cody beats Roman, he should do the same type of kick out and then win. Like Roman
Oh,
is
kick out
spear
at
and Cody
one from
kicks
like
out
a
at 1
spear.
and just gets
Oh,
right up and beats him. I think that'd be fucking hilarious because no one expected. Like no one
yeah.
expected.
People would not expect that. Yeah, 100% people would
And
not
then people
expect
go.
that.
I think that's if, especially now if we're gonna have to wait 9 years for Cody to beat Roman. That's how you do it. Yeah, this is a great match. You know what I got sad about though? They never had another match on WWE pay-per-view one-on-one. And I wish they did.
Oh.
They have such good chemistry.
I will agree with you too that Hope during this match when Macho Man grabs Liz by the chin, it's so much more than him actually striking her.
Because in your mind, you're like making up what happens when no one watch when the camera's
Yes.
on. What is this guy
Yeah.
doing?
Uh-huh.
And you just think of like the worst fucking things. And yeah, man, and he's such a good heel, Savage. Dude, Savage
Savage is good. Liz is really good in her role. Hogan's good. He's people love him. Um, this was a good match. It's not better than Jim Duggan's Booker, but it's
yeah,
up there.
Savage. I really believe the Stephanie rumor. I really do. The more I watch Savage, because this guy was so good. Why would you not have brought him back years later? This guy was so like, even if he's just like the commissioner and he's cutting promos, like the more I watch, like why would you not want this guy back in your show? Dude, if he was alive today, if I was like Tony Khan and he was alive, I would be like, just show up at the arena. We'll figure out you're going to do something. We don't, but you could be a commentator, you could be a manager. I just want you on my TV. I just want you cutting promos. Right?
Let me see. Like, why did this man not
It's
like?
the Stephanie thing. It's got to be this. I don't care what anyone says. It's the Stephanie thing. That's the only thing I can see.
Wouldn't have Stephanie have been like a teenager? That's gross.
That's what makes it worse. The full rumor is, right?
No.
Macho Man bangs Stephanie in 94. She gets pregnant, doesn't tell Vince, tells Linda. Linda pays for the abortion. And then Vince finds out years later. And that's when the we're not doing anything with Macho Man hit. It was, if you brought up Macho Man in meetings, Vince said, don't bring up his name ever again. Let's move on to something else. I never want to hear that name mentioned here.
How old would Stephanie have been?
In 94, let's see. So let's see how old she is right now. I think she's like 18 or 16. Stephanie.
Dude, you're telling me Macho Man was a pedophile then? That's basically what that rumor is saying.
So she's 46 right now. So she'd be 17.
Yeah, so Macho Man would have been a pedophile.
Well, it's legal in Connecticut at 17.
No, dude, I don't want.
Technically, I'm not a pedophile because it's legal.
I don't want this rumor to be true.
Dude, Sable sued him. Said that he sexually harassed him. Fucking Hulk Hogan testified against them in the trial. Ultimate Warrior talks shit about him everywhere. Bruno Sammartino, all the Superstar Billy Graham fucking went on TV and said Vince was giving people steroids. All these people tried to take this guy out of business, and they were all back in the TV getting blowjobs by the fucking company, but not Macho Man Randy Savage until after he dies. Macho Man never shits on him. He doesn't testify. He doesn't sue him. He doesn't do anything. So what could it be besides the fact that he fucked his daughter in the ass when she was 17?
Maybe he fucked his wife.
Maybe he fucked Shane. Ooh, come here, Shane.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
We'll never know. But
yeah.
But he's just but my whole point is he's just the best. He is the greatest of all time. It's him. He's the best. He's what people say Ric Flair is.
I think Macho Man's great. Yeah, I love him. I'll be honest with you. Even though this main event was a fun match and you got Jim Duggan's booger and shit, you don't need to watch WrestleMania 5. I don't think you need to watch
it. Just watch this match. If like there's a best of Hogan. If you're watching like a best, this is on all the best of Hogan things and the best of Savage. You can just see it there. That's all it really is.
Yeah, you don't need to watch. Don't waste 4 hours of your life. Like don't wait. Only like Don't waste
I
3 extra
actually
hours.
found this to be, and I used to hate WrestleMania 4. Somehow I found this one more ponderous. Is that Roddy Piper segment? It really kills the whole event.
Oh my god, that was a tremendously terrible segment. Yeah, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah,
It is what it
cool.
is. I thought, and I think Chi-Town Rumble is a better show. The one we
Yes,
watched.
it is. Chi-Town Rumble is a better show, hands down. I don't even know how you can argue WrestleMania 5 is better. Yeah, dude, we're not biased. I shit on NWA a whole bunch, but even this is Chi-Town Rumble. The Chinatown Rumble is way better than this fucking WrestleMania 5. 100%. Yeah.
So next week we're back in the NWA. We're back with Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat. We're covering Wrestle War '89. The
Wrestle
week
House?
after that, what?
Wrestle House?
Wrestle War '89. No, not Wrestle House. The week after that, Great American Bash '89 with Terry Funk versus Ric Flair. The week after that, 3 weeks from now, SummerSlam '89 with Hogan and Beefcake versus Zeus and Savage. And then, for the first time ever, Halloween Havoc '89 with Sting and Ric Flair versus Terry Funk and the Great Muta, which in a Thunderdome cage, in honor of Tina Turner. What are you most excited about?
I don't know. It's all NWA stuff, so I don't know. We'll see.
Well, SummerSlam's in there too.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the next one because Ric
Ricky
Flair and Steamboat had such a good match. I kind of want to see what their second match is going to be like.
Well, this is the third. The second match was actually tonight. The second match was actually on TBS going against WrestleMania, but it's a Clash of Champions. We don't cover those. Maybe one day we will, but I don't want to watch that.
Okay. No, this sounds interesting. I'm looking at the lineup. Looks good so far.
Yeah.
Weird placement of some stuff, but okay.
Well, you'll see why we watch it. All right, guys. So that is the show. If you enjoyed us, follow me, Ray Goots. Subscribe to the podcast. And yeah, next week, Wrestle War '89, baby. Woo! We'll see you then.
See you later.